Okay, welcome back, Pokemon trainers. We fixed everything, the 3DS is updated, so now we should actually be getting into this match very soon. Off again, I'm just gonna repeat the names again. It's Jorijn Reemakers from the Netherlands against Yuri Alessio Boschetto from Italy. So yeah, we should be going into team preview right away now, I feel like. These two players are seated right now, as you can see, getting into their game, getting ready here. Which should be a very exciting game, which we had to wait for a little bit, but I definitely think it's going to be worth the wait.
Yeah, we do actually see team preview here. We do actually see Orion has the Xerneas, Groudon, Incineroar, Tapu Fini, the Amoonguss, and actually on Bronzong, just about what we were talking about a little bit earlier. And Yuri is running Xerneas, Groudon, Kartana, Incineroar, the Venusaur, and Heatran. So we do actually see another 3 fire types.
Yeah, well, actually 2 fire types. Groudon is not a fire type anymore, but it definitely feels like it's still a fire type, setting up that drought ability.
To me, it's still the fire type.
I definitely really like on Yuri's team that Venusaur Frost mode option that he has as well. Because on your side, that almost kind of forces you to either bring Tapu Fini, or it kind of forces you to have maybe something like Safety Goggles or Lumberry on one of your Pokemon. So it puts a lot of pressure immediately. And if I just look at Urine's team, that Heatran from Yuri's side is actually looking really good against most of it, I think, except the Groudon. But it really walls Xerneas, being able to. These Moonblasts are going to do about 4 times as less damage as a normal Moonblast would do. So it's definitely going to wall the Xerneas. But yeah, I think otherwise it's kind of an interesting Xerneas Groudon mirror match here.
Yeah, what do you think Orion's going to lead?
Just looking at the team, I wouldn't be surprised if Orion might try to go for his Trick Room mode. Once he gets that Bronzong, maybe in Gravity, and he's able to spam Hypnosis, because Yuri doesn't have a great way to stop that. Yes, he has his own Incineroar to maybe disrupt it a little bit, and he has his own Heatran, but once that Bronzong gets going, it might be really scary for him.
Yeah, because in Trick Room, it can go with something like Gravity just to make sure that Groudon is hitting his Precipice Blades.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're going to see the leads, and I'm very excited to see what it's going to be here.
Yeah, we are going to see that Yuri is actually leading Groudon and Kartana here. And on Orion's side, we actually see Incineroar and Bronzong.
Yeah, so Orion not going with the nicknames makes our job a little bit easier. And Yuri leading I and U, definitely going with the nickname themes here. And we see actually Orion just does go for that kind of Bronzong mode, as we did expect in the beginning. So that's really not surprising at all. So I think just he can definitely go for kind of a fake out Trick Room mode here, which is definitely a good option. I don't think Yuri has a great way to stop that right away, but the Groudon does offer a lot of pressure against this Incineroar. It also kind of depends on what kind of ability this Bronzong has. If it's Levitate, it can wall this Groudon a little bit better, but then Fire Punch is going to do more damage. But if it's Heat Proof, then Fire Punch does barely anything.
Yeah, actually, Bronzong having either Levitate or Heat Proof is actually something that's really important to know. And we do actually see Incineroar going for a fake out into that Groudon, and we do actually see this Heatran switch in as Bronzong is going for Trick Room.
Yeah, so a good Trick Room by Orion. The one thing that I assume that he probably wants is he wishes that he could have another turn to also set up Gravity, because you don't want to set up Gravity now when you're staring down a Groudon, because then your Bronzong suddenly takes a lot of damage from a Precipice Blades. And Yuri actually has a good switch into his Heatran here, which is looking pretty safely. But if you're Orion, you might just want to go and risk it all and go for these blind hypnosises, because that definitely, once you hit those, that puts you in a really good spot.
Yeah, I think, you may want to go for a blind hypnosis into that Groudon, but if you miss and it fires back a Precipice Blades,
yeah, that could be really bad.
You're going to be in a really big trouble.
And I assume that he brings in his Groudon here, yeah.
Yeah, we do actually see the Incineroar just switching this Groudon. Incineroar just not wanting to risk taking a Precipice Blades, and is actually going into the Heatran here and is going to take a nap.
Yeah, so he does hit, and it makes sense that he goes for the Heatran. The Groudon has already been intimidated, so it's not going to do too much damage, and the Heatran in Sun was going to do a lot of damage for sure. But Groudon should be able to take these Precipice Blades with relative ease. We think about 30%, yeah, right around the money there. We see actually that it's a Life Orb Groudon. So I'm also thinking that that's a pretty bulky Groudon on your Rhine side. And now it's actually one of these turns that he is actually pretty safe to go for this Gravity Precipice Blades. Heatran would definitely go down. Kartana doesn't want to switch into Precipice Blades either. And I think all the Pokemon that Yuri has in the back don't really want to do that either. So Urian, with that Blind Hypnosis hit, put himself in a really good position here, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, going for a Blind Hypnosis is really
Ooh,
risky.
when he stays asleep.
Ooh, that's really good for him. And he is actually going for a Gravity here. Just making sure that the Precipice Blades are going to hit. And we do see Groudon firing off his big Precipice Blades.
Yeah,
And
that's an
it's-
easy knockout on a Heatran.
Yeah, that's definitely going to take down this Heatran. It's actually also doing quite a lot of damage on this Groudon here. It is actually also itself going to fire back with the Precipice Blade, but we did see that it really didn't do that much damage. But of course, now thanks to Gravity, Bronzong doesn't have the Levitate ability anymore, and it's actually taking a lot of damage from this Precipice Blades.
Yeah, for sure. And I think now if Yuri has something like Incineroar in the back, this is probably one of these moments that we're gonna see it. Because if you have something like Venusaur or Xerneas in the back, you're not in a great position at all if you're Yuri. So what is it gonna be then? It is gonna be Venusaur. Oh wow, that's not what you want in Trick Room at all.
Definitely not. You know, this Venusaur now with Chlorophyll is going to be really, really fast, and
Yeah.
that's not what you want in Trick Room right now.
Wow, and it just looks like Yuri kind of disrespected the Trick Room mode there right from the start. Because once it got up, he just kind of lost a lot of the pressure that he had on the field. And with this Kartana and Venusaur in the back, they both don't want to face a Groudon in Trick Room at all. And now that Gravity's up, Urian can just Hypnosis one of the two slots. He can kind of freely choose. So Yuri either probably has to call which one's going to be Hypnosis, or he's actually going to switch out.
Yeah, we are actually going to see the Groudon switch out for the Kartana here. And Bronzong is going to go just for a Hypnosis.
Oh, and Hypnosis to Venusaur.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really, really good play from Urian here. Maybe just thinking this Groudon is maybe just going to switch out, and we do actually see Groudon going for a big Precipice Blades here. You know, it is actually doing a lot of damage also to the Kartana.
Yeah, but I think it's not almost half damage there.
It might be a roll.
It might be a roll, but Bronzong usually has one damaging move in terms of a Gyro Ball, and I think a Gyro Ball combined with another Precipice Blade should just clean up the field here for Urian, in which I think he has one more turn of Trick Room remaining now.
Yeah, I think maybe he wants to go for a Hypnosis. Now he still can.
I think you want a Gyro Ball and Precipice Blades here, because if you do that, you just clean up the board and you kind of limit a lot of these options. Bringing out your Incineroar is also a good option to get Fake Out if one of these Pokemon protects on Yuri's side. But I'm assuming most of these Kartana that we see nowadays are going to be Assault Fast. So I don't think we're definitely going to see Protect here. That's not what we're seeing.
No, Venusaur is just taking another nap here, and we do see Groudon going for a Precipice Blade, and we are going to see if it was a roll actually.
Ooh, it survives.
It is surviving. So is it going to fire back with a big Leaf Blade here, and it is just going to be enough to pick up the Groudon here. So Kartana, they're surviving, and possibly 1 HP is really big.
Definitely.
And it is also going to get a Beast Boost here.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I think just a Gyro Ball and a P-Blades would have been a better option there, because then you get rid of both of Yuri's Pokemon, limiting his options quite a lot, because then he only has Groudon remaining. But we already saw that Yuri's Groudon was actually faster than Urian's Groudon. So now that Yuri actually has his Kartana survive, it means he also has the speed control, and he has two relatively strong Pokemon on the field. The Life or Precipice Blade should definitely pick up the KO on this Incineroar. But Xerneas is a great Pokemon to have here.
Yeah, definitely. I think Urian really used his turn of Trick Room really well there, and just making sure, by the end of it, I'm just gonna switch in Xerneas.
Definitely. And I think a safe play right now for Urian, to maybe guarantee his win position, is if he switches out his Incineroar and protects his Xerneas, hoping to potentially sack his Bronzong. Because what you can do then, you get a free switch in into Incineroar again. No, because I think you want another Intimidate onto this Kartana maybe.
And we do see it actually going for a 5 Fake Out into that Kartana. Urian
oh yeah, because it just came in, of course.
Yeah, it just came in. And we do actually see the Groudon going for a Precipice Blades here, but it's probably going to be enough to pick up the KO on Incineroar. Yeah, definitely. Without Life Orb damage, it's definitely just going to be a knockout here. But do we see Xerneas maybe going for something like Geomancy? Yeah, it's his signature moves, and it will raise its special attack, special defense, and speed by 2 stages. So with a Moonblast, Urian probably locked it up here.
Yeah, definitely. I was kind of forgetting. I thought Incineroar already used Fake Out, but yeah, Fake Out and Geomancy is then a really safe play for him. Even if Kartana would have protected that turn, you make sure that you're faster in the next turn, and after that Xerneas just cleans up the game. So yeah, really well played by Urian there. He brings in his Bronzong, doesn't need it anymore. Xerneas can clean up at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And Urian really standing as man here against someone like Yuri, who's done so well.
Yeah, now he's halfway in actually beating Yuri Busquetto from Italy here. But we still have a game 2 and game 3, so there's nothing is set yet.
No,
but I think if you're Yuri, you definitely have to make sure that you have a better answer to that Bronzong from Urian. Because I think he kind of disrespected the Trick Room mode.
Yeah, I definitely disrespected the Trick Room mode, and Urian just got off so much momentum in those 5 turns and just made sure that in the end he had a Xerneas left who would just go for a Geomancy. So, switching that Incineroar in made a lot of sense, knowing that, okay, next turn I can very easily just go for a fake out Geomancy.
Yeah, and I think looking at Yuri's team, the way he played, we saw that the Kartana most likely didn't have Protect. The Venusaur, I think, also never went for Protect. It never moved first. I'm just kind of assuming that both these Pokemon don't have Protect. So once your Trick Room goes up, Yuri lectures so many answers to try to stall it out. He didn't bring his Incineroar, so he didn't have Fake Out to stall out the Trick Room. And then if you don't have Protect on your Pokemon either, stalling out Trick Room is going to be really tough for you. So I think that's kind of where you went wrong. Yuri had a really offensive team selection. And just kind of forgetting about Bronzong maybe. Maybe thinking Urian wouldn't bring it. But like we said before in team preview, I think Bronzong is a key Pokemon in this matchup.
Yeah, it's really good. Just getting up those Trick Rooms gonna give you so much momentum, especially if you run just a little bit more of a slow team, because then you don't need to invest in speed. You can invest, full in attack and just in your defenses, just to make sure that even though you do a lot of damage, you also can take a lot of hits, making sure you survive through these turns of Trick Room. So what do you think Yuri can do here to stop this Trick Room from going up?
Yeah, I think he definitely needs to try to stop it in some way, and I think Incineroar is one of the key Pokemon that I think he needs to bring. What we saw already that it is not a heat-proof Bronzong, so a Flare Blitz in the sun should be able to pick up the KO. That's, I think, one of the options that he has. Plus Incineroar also offers some more Fake Out pressure. I think Heatran was a good idea. It helps really well against the Xerneas. It helps against a lot of the Pokemon on Urian's team, but it does not want to face a Groudon at all, and it just kind of got sacked in game 1. So if he brings it, he needs to be a little bit more careful. And I'm also not sure why he brought both his Grass Pokemon, because I don't think those worked out either.
Oh, so I'm really excited to see if Yuri maybe switch it up. But do you think Urian is going to go for the same strategy here?
I don't think he has any reason not to. I'm not sure if he exactly needs to go. Well, I think a same lead makes sense because you have Fake Out pressure, you have Trick Room pressure, and he does go with the same lead.
Yeah, it's a really strong lead, just threatening immediately that Trick Room, and we are going to see leads from Yuri. Actually, again, Heatran and Groudon.
No, last time it was Groudon and Kartana actually,
definitely.
but Heatran came in right after that.
It was immediately put to sleep.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense to now actually lead the Heatran against these two Pokemon. Makes a lot of sense. We've seen that it's Life Orb Groudon, which means that a Precipice Blades does have a decent chance to one-shot this Incineroar, even at -1. It all depends on the investments that this Incineroar has, as well as the investments of the Groudon on Yuri's side. But the Heatran threatens this Bronzong a lot.
Yeah. So actually I think it's really smart to just kind of threaten with his 2 fire types against the Bronzong, since it was Levitate and not heat proof. Just the fire attack is going to do so much damage, and possibly he could just take a KO in the Bronzong.
Yeah, so I think he kind of needs to fake out the Heatran here if he wants to set up Trick Room, but it looks like he doesn't want to set up Trick Room. He went for the Tapu Fini mode in game 2 instead.
Yeah, it's some Pokemon we didn't actually see in game 1. We are actually going to, so just assuming that he might just not want to go for Hypnosis here.
No, that's really interesting, because that worked out so well for him in game 1. Yeah, the Heatran is just going to go launch a Heat Wave. That's in the sun. That's still going to do a lot of damage probably. Oh, that actually... Incineroar takes it really easily.
And it actually crit on Fini as well.
I would say that's Insult Fast Incineroar based on that damage. Because Heatran is a pretty strong special attacker in the sun. And I don't know if I agree with Urian bringing Tapu Fini in this matchup. Because it doesn't offer a lot of pressure, especially in the sun.
But maybe it's something like a Swagger Fini or a Gravity Fini, just making sure the Precipice Blades are hitting, or it wants to just boost up this Groudon here. But
single target Heat Wave, is that enough after that critical hit?
Oh,
Oh,
it is enough to take up the... Oh, another critical hit here.
So we still don't know if it mattered or not, but that's
No.
insane. But you're right. I don't really like how he sacked this. Just is Incineroar
No.
right away. I think just going for another fake out Trick Room would have been better. Maybe you knew that this Bronzong couldn't take a Heat Wave.
Possibly.
But then you fake out the Heat Trend, and then you maybe let your Incineroar take a Precipice Blaze, but then you still bring in your own Groudon afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Urian was like so strong in game 1, but now he's already down 2 Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's definitely not over yet. It all depends kind of on speed tiers here. I think if this Groudon on your Urian side is faster than the Heatran, he still has a decent chance, because then he offers the Precipice Blade pleasure, and he can still go for Trick Room afterwards. Because this Groudon shouldn't be able to one-hit KO the Bronzong at all. So it all depends on how fast is this Heatran.
Yeah, we are actually going to see Groudon going for a big Fire Punch here. And
Oh, it is faster.
On the Groudon avoid, yeah, that's definitely the wrong one you wanted to avoid here, and it's more than enough to pick up the KO on this Bronzong here. So Yuri being incredibly strong in this game too here, and we are going to see Groudon for a big Precipice Blade, which is enough to like pick up the KO on this Heatran, but Urian is still in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, it's a little bit too late, especially with Yuri having the faster Groudon. I think any Pokemon that Yuri has in back should be enough now to clean up. Cortana or Xerneas or Venusaur. Just, yeah. All of these are actually faster than Urian's Groudon, as we've seen already in Game 1. And yeah, I think just him not trying to go for Trick Room in turn 1 kind of came back to haunt him, because after that he managed to kind of put himself in a position where he was never able to switch into anything. Like a Precipice Blades and Heatwave combination, he had no switches to that. He had Tapu Fini, but that just went down to Heatwave Precipice Blades combination.
Yeah, definitely. We do actually see the...
Oh, it's actually Berry.
It's actually a berry. It's actually really good information for Yuri here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think if you're Ryan, you probably should have just forfeited there. Because now you reveal this information. And, I mean, knowing that it's a grass, not Venusaur, that's kind of the reason why you run Venusaur. It's not really, you don't really have much reason to run anything else. So I don't really agree why he's still trying to play this out. I mean, maybe he has a chance. I'm not sure how much Sun turns are remaining. Maybe he hopes that his Sun turns run out. That if he protects now, and if that's the end of the Sun, then maybe if he crits the Precipice Blades on the Incineroar, he has a chance. But it all depends on how much Sun turns there are. I've not been counting Sun turns so far, but so he might need to protect, he might need to Dual Protect, but even then, he would still need a critical hit on the Incineroar as well, because we've seen that it's a Berry Ground, it's not a Life Orb, it's not a Choice Band. So a single Precipice Blades is not enough. And I see now that it's one turn of Sun remaining. So if Urian wants to kind of try to cheese out this game, he needs to go for Protect now. And then the next turn he needs to hope for... Oh, he doesn't go for Protect here.
No, he's just going to get knocked out by this Grass Knot here. Like Yuri coming really, really strong back in this game 2 here. And we are going to go again to a game 3.
Yeah. So not sure why Urian reveals that last bit of information and then doesn't try to stall out the Sun to at least see the Venusaur speed. Kind of interesting there, but I think his main mistake was just not try setting up Trick Room right when he had the fake out pressure. Because that's definitely something that he needed to go for. And I think it's also well played by Yuri, because he just leads both his Pokemon that offer a lot of pressure on the Bronzong Incineroar combination. He saw how well that worked out in game 1. So he thought, okay, my opponent is probably going to lead the same thing. So what do I have that really threatens this kind of lead, no matter what he does? Because Urian doesn't have anything to switch into that. So Yuri definitely kind of identified that win condition, and he went for that. Maybe Urian kind of panicked because of it, because he saw like, ooh, I have nothing to switch into this. He started switching around, and I think all he did is he just took a lot of damage while switching.
I think, he was switching, but just not getting the momentum that he wanted there.
No.
So what do you think Urian can do as a lead here?
Well, first of all, I think don't bring Tapu Fini. I don't like it in this matchup at all. Yes, it can resist these type of heat waves from Heatran, but it just offers you so little in return. The Bronzong Incineroar, I think it's all right, but maybe you want something like that in the back. And also, I think maybe going for Bronzong Incineroar it would still be fine. I think it could have worked out in game 2 as well if he just actually went for that fake out Trick Room. So maybe you realize that, and maybe he still goes with that play.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what both players did here, since Urian won this game 1 really well, and Yuri just got back in it in game 2. We are actually going to see the same lead here as we saw in game 2.
Yeah.
And we are actually going to see the Tapu Fini here. Urian is leading that Incineroar and Tapu Fini.
Yeah, and I don't know what I think about this lead. I don't love it because the problem is that yes, you have to stop Tapu this water type against a ground type and a fire type, but you're also in Sun, and it's also Tapu Fini. It's a bulky Pokemon, but it doesn't offer a lot of offensive pressure. These days, most Tapu Fini don't even run Muddy Water anymore, so I'm not sure what he wants to accomplish with this kind of a lead, especially knowing that it is live for Groudon. This Incineroar does not want to take that at all.
Yeah, so maybe this Tapu Fini has something up its sleeve that we don't know about.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what it is, because I don't think it has any way to really touch this Groudon for a lot of damage, unless it's something like the Choice Specs variant, but I don't think it is. I mean, the Tapu Fini can be really useful in terms of speed control, but then Urian needs to bring his own Groudon.
Yeah.
So I think
He maybe wants to go for something like Icy Wind then, just to make sure that his Groudon is actually faster in the next turn. We do actually see Heatran going for Earth Power into that Tapu Fini, really not doing that much damage.
Go for Icy Wind.
And it is actually going for Icy Wind. Just maybe making sure that the Groudon really wants to switch out and he wants to capitalize off that.
Yeah, so, I mean, Urian probably knows this. If he leads this kind of combination, he goes for Icy Wind. I assume that he knows his calcs here, but I think Incineroar needs to be relatively fast in order to outspeed a Groudon, even after Icy Wind. But definitely a Flare Blitz in the Sun and an Icy Wind should be enough to pick up the KO on this Groudon here. But this Heatran is still offering a lot of offensive pressure.
We are actually going to see the Heatran switch out here for the Venusaur, actually. And we are just going to see Tapu Fini going for another Icy Wind, just wanting to make sure that the speed of these Pokemons are going to be lowered. So instead of going for Trick Room, he just lowering the speed of his opponent's
and he doesn't
Pokemon.
protect Groudon, so he must assume that he's faster, and he is still faster.
Yeah, Tapu Fini does avoid, but this is again going to be a knockout on this Incineroar. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah, last time it took a Heat Wave chip damage as well.
True, yeah.
So now it barely lives, and we've seen already that this actually dissolves as Incineroar, so it's not going to heal up, but it is actually going to pick up the KO on this Groudon here.
Yeah, it's possibly KOing itself with Rico, just having a
I
lot
think it
of...
might.
Just
it hangs on a 1 HP.
1 HP, yeah.
I'm not sure if you want that if you're
No.
Urian. I don't think you mind a free switch in there at all.
No, because this Incineroar is just too slow to really do anything here.
Yeah.
So I think you definitely would have wanted just a free switch in.
And I think Heatran should be coming back in now, yeah, as we see right now. The good thing about having Tapu Fini here is that it's a really lightweight Pokemon. So a Grass Knot from Venusaur, it's not going to be doing too much damage at all, so it could definitely take that. But in return, an Icy Wind is not going to do too much damage to Venusaur either.
But I don't think Tapu Fini wants to take something like Sludge Bomb, which we are actually going to see the Venusaur going for a Sludge Bomb into this Tapu Fini here, which is going to actually live and eat its berry, and is of course going to heal back up to over half.
Yeah, and then a Heat Wave should actually put it decently low again. But I'm assuming that here it goes for an Icy Wind. The thing that we still haven't seen from last game as well is that if after one Icy Wind, I think the Venusaur should still be faster than the Groudon on Urian's side. But the good thing for him is that he is in misty terrain, and the Groudon should definitely be able to take one Grass Knot from a Venusaur. And he can't go for any Sleep Powders. And after this Icy Wind, the Groudon should definitely be faster than the Heatran.
Yeah.
So that's I'm assuming that Urian's just going to bring in his Groudon here, because I think that's the one moment that he has right now to set it up.
Yeah, we are actually going to see the Groudon here. And I think, this Urian is just making sure that with his Icy Winds, his Groudon is going to be able to safely switch in here.
Yeah, and I do like that a lot. And I think that's a really good play. But I'm still kind of interested in what the last Pokemon on Urian's side is. Is it going to be that Xerneas, or is it going to be that Bronzong?
Yeah, I mean, I think if he brought Bronzong, he might have already just wanted to lead us into such a slow Pokemon that even if you switch it in, you have to take a lot of attacks to actually get something off. Unless you, of course, get a free switch in. We are actually going to see the Venusaur just going for another Sludge Bomb into this Fini, which is going to be enough to pick up the KO here.
Oh, but now after the Intimidate, the Venusaur is probably going to live the Precipice Blades here.
Yeah.
We're gonna see that right away, because the Venusaur is decently bulky. Yeah, and it does live it. And wow, is that a critical hit on this Incineroar? Yeah, that's definitely a critical hit.
Wow, that's a really, really important critical hit, because if Incineroar would have lived, Yuri would have been in a better position.
Yeah, for sure. And now it all kind of depends what Urian's last Pokemon is. It's actually a Xerneas.
Yeah, he did bring a Xerneas again. And Yuri is going to switch in his Heatran again.
Yeah, so the interesting part here, though, even though Groudon looks really good against a Heatran, the Heatran is actually faster and in the sun, so he's able to do a lot of damage to the Groudon. Heatwave plus Grass Knot should definitely be able to pick up the KO here. And Xerneas is not going to do anything to the Heatran. So I think as long as Sun stays up, Yuri should probably have this game locked up, I think. But there's definitely a chance of Urian just going for Protect with Groudon and trying to Moonblast KO this Venusaur. Because I think that's the one play he has to win the game. And I think we saw from Yuri as well from game 2 that this Venusaur probably doesn't carry Protect. So I really hope he's going to go for that play, and he's going to protect the Xerneas instead.
Yeah, we are going to see this Groudon just going for double Protect.
Just stalling out the sun. That also makes a lot of sense.
Definitely, and we are going to see the Heatran just going for a Heat Wave, but yeah, so what do you think is Urian's game plan is then for next turn?
I think his game plan is hitting Precipice Blades. I'm just assuming that after the sunlight is gone, that this Xerneas should be faster than the Venusaur. Did it take an Icy Wind to Venusaur? I don't think it did it?
Oh, I'm not sure. I think it did actually.
Either way, Xerneas is naturally faster than Venusaur, so I think we can definitely assume that Xerneas is going to outspeed the Venusaur. And if then, out of the sun, Heatran should not be able to one-hit KO the Groudon at all. Heatwave was never going to do the job. It should have had Overheat or something like that, and it's still faster than Groudon, the Heatran.
Yeah, the Heatran is going for a Heatwave, but the Xerneas is going to avoid, and actually going to get a burn on Groudon.
Yeah,
but he's going to have the attacking power of the Groudon here, and we do see Xerneas going for a Moonblast, taking this Venusaur down.
Yeah, but the Precipice Blade should just finish up the job now. The Heatwave did no damage at all, and this is a 4 times effective Precipice Blades. That's even burned. That's definitely going to one-shot this Heatran here.
It's
actually not.
It is actually hanging on here, so this burn actually being really, really important here, because Groudon could potentially start missing as well.
I mean, you also have a Moonblast Xerneas. I mean, yeah, at this point, it's really tough for Yuri. I don't think the burn is going to matter in the long run, especially with Heatwave doing only so little damage. And Yuri sees that as well. Presses the forfeit. And we actually have a Dutch player at 4-0 now.
Yeah, definitely. Urian is actually beating Yuri here. It's a really good performance of him. Game 3 was really exciting because we were both wondering, like, what is this Tapu Fini going to do? But it was really, really important for Urian in the game here.
Yeah, that Icy Wind pressure was pretty big for him there. I'm still not sure if it was better than the Bronzong mode, but it definitely did put in a lot of work. I also want to say he did get a little bit lucky in Game 3 with that critical hit on Incineroar. With Incineroar still in the back, Yuri would have had a little bit more pressure to maneuver himself into the right positions.
Yeah,
that Precipice Blades critical hit was definitely kind of unfortunate on his end. But yeah, that's the game we play, kind of.
It is, yeah, sadly, but of course, Yuri did, of course, get 2 critical hits with Heatwave on his Fini as well.
Yeah, I think where at least one of them mattered, probably. I'm not sure, because the other one was a single target Heatwave in the sun, but the one before that put it in range for sure. So, yeah, they kind of went both ways, I guess.
Yeah, we don't get to see Urian winning Game 1 really well, and then Yuri just smashing back in Game 2, just taking it really confidently. And Urian did have a good game plan in Game 3, he maybe knew that just Bronzong wasn't the play for him. He just couldn't get it off. It's why he went for like the Icy Wind Tapu Fini.
Yeah, and I'm still not sure why in Game 2 he didn't go for the fake out Trick Room play. Just fake out into the Heatran and then go for the Trick Room after that. But either way, we're gonna ask him after this. We're gonna see what he thinks about it, what he thought of the match. So we're gonna be right back with a winner's interview with Urian. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, Pokemon trainers. I am here with the winner of the last set, Jorijn Rijmakers from the Netherlands. How are you feeling, Jorijn?
Well, pretty happy, but it was also I got also a bit lucky, so it's like a bit mixed feelings.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do well at the regional, you kind of need both of these things. You know? You need skill, you need luck as well. That's definitely kind of the game we play. How did you feel about that set? What was kind of your game plan going into it? Because like Game 1, I saw there was the thing that really worked well for you was the Bronzong Incineroar combination. I think once you got up Trick Room, you just completely swept there.
Yes.
But you decided to kind of switch that up for Game 2 and 3. Why did you decide to do that?
I thought that he could easily counter the Trick Room because he had multiple fire types and Groudon.
Yeah.
So I figured I would try to surprise him by suddenly switching to icy wind speed control instead of Trick Room.
Yeah, that worked out really well in the end. And then in game 2, I mean, you got a little bit unlucky getting that heat wave critical hit twice on your Tapu Fini. But then in the end, you found your luck back in game 3. So how's the tournament been going for you? How did your first few rounds went?
They went pretty well. There was a game in round 3 that was a little bit of a closer set, but round 1 and 2, could convincingly win. I was very comfortable.
Nice. Well, we wish you all the luck for the rest of the set. I definitely hope to see you in cut. Always nice to see another Dutch guy do well. It was really fun to commenting with you as well. I was commenting with Romy, 2 Dutch players commenting another Dutch player. It's always fun to see. Either way, we're kind of in a hurry here, so we're gonna tune out right now. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be back soon for the next round.